One of the biggest headlines last year was Havas demerging with Vivendi. Havas, a global communication agency, has now become an independent, publicly traded company. What's the new chapter looking like for Havas? Well, let's find out, because joining us is Yannick Bollore, Chairman and CEO of the company. Thank you for joining us, Yannick.
Thank you very much for having me.
Now tell me, has a demerger sort of made Havas more attractive for the clients and the talent, considering that you have no more autonomy now to pursue growth objectives?
I mean, it's a great question. So just to be fair and transparent with you and your customers, the idea of the demerger was coming from Vivendi, because Vivendi was one of the largest European conglomerate in media and communication. And in today's world, conglomerates are suffering on the stock market from a huge discount. The case of Vivendi, it was close to 45%.
Okay.
So Vivendi decided to split its businesses in 4 entities, directly listed, around 4 great entities. So Havas, we're going to talk about Havas. Louis Hachette, which is one of the leader in book publishing and travel retail. Canal+, which is a leader in the pay TV world, and Vivendi remaining with great investments and video game company. So to answer your question, I think it presents great opportunities for Havas. It's been now almost 6 months that we are listed, since December, so 6 months exactly, I would say, in 13 days, going to be the 6 months anniversary. And I believe it's giving us an extra boost in the best interest of our talents and for our clients as well.
And also congratulations are in order. We've seen some solid first quarter results for Havas in this year. Now tell me, where did the growth really come from, and which were the big client wins, if I could say, in this particular period?
Do you mean during the first quarter?
Yes.
No, it has been a great first quarter for Havas. We posted a plus 5% growth. So we are very happy with that. The growth is coming from a different part of the world and different type of expertise. It's fair to say that we have a strong growth in the US for the first quarter, but last year was a bit more complex for us in the US. A strong growth in Latin America. It has been the case for us in Latin America with countries such as Mexico or Brazil growing very fast. And of course, a great growth in APAC, especially in India, where we grew a little bit more than 10%. Wow. So we are very satisfied with our growth for the first quarter and very satisfied with what's happening for Havas in India.
Super. And I was also going through the reports. I saw a 0.2% decline in the European market, which is your home market.
Yeah.
So what really led to that? And keeping that in account, what are the Asia Pacific markets going to contribute to in future to the growth of Havas?
Yeah, so maybe you don't realize because you're based in India, but the situation in Europe and in India are completely different. In Europe, we are experiencing, I would say, a flat growth between plus 0 and plus 2% year on year. When we grow 2-3% in Europe, we are over the moon. It seems like a pretty strong growth. Where in APAC, when you grow less than 10%, it seems a little bit disappointing. So of course, I mean, the energy here in Asia is just amazing. I'm on my way back from Singapore, where we met with a lot of people from Southeast Asia. I just arrived in India yesterday, and after just the first day, I can tell you that the positiveness, the optimism in India is very strong. So I believe that the growth will continue to come a lot from this part of the world.
Okay, fab. You know, also, correct me if I'm wrong, now Havas is going to complete 200 years since its inception in the next decade, which is a big milestone for you. Now, I remember, your father, and now you had taken over the reins a couple of decades in advance. Tell me, we have seen the growth of Havas from a news agency and to an agency business completely. With you at the forefront, are we going to see another big pivot?
I mean, Havas is celebrating its 190 years anniversary this year. The 200 years anniversary will be in 2035. 200 years after Charles Havas, it's the name of the founder, Havas, has created the company. It was indeed a news agency. Then he created newspaper, and Charles Havas invented advertising in the middle of the year 1800 to get some additional funding for his newspapers. And then advertising became what it is today, and Havas became one of the top group in this industry. I believe that we will stay as a communication group. But having said that, that is true that just in the past 20, 25 years with the digital revolution, now with AI, I mean, the industry is completely transforming itself, and doing advertising today is completely different from doing advertising 25 years ago.
Absolutely.
And I'm sure that in 5 years from now, things will evolve.
Okay. Another thing, I think last year at Cannes you had announced your converged global strategy.
Yeah.
How has that panned out in the past several months?
Yeah, last year we've been very busy, 2024, with the listing in Amsterdam at the end of the year and with the launch of Converge. Just to give you a bit of context, 12 years ago, when I became the CEO and chair of this company, we decided to do things differently from the competition, and we launched a strategy that we called Together, where we decided to regroup all our different agencies into one building under the same roof to be able to offer a very integrated and simple offer to our clients. We've done very well thanks to this strategy. Even the industry now is catching up with the same kind of integrated strategy. Converge is going one step further. So the idea is to be even more integrated than what we were in the past, and to be much more data-driven in every expertise. So it's been the case on the media front. Of course, it's data-driven media now. But now with the creative people as well and all the other areas of expertise, we can offer to our clients a data-driven expertise thanks to this new operating system, and we leverage all those new possibilities which are producing great outcomes.
Super. And I think Havas has been on an acquisition spree globally as well as in India. I want to understand from you which has been that game changer acquisition for you, both here and maybe globally as well. Maybe if you can name a few.
Yeah, Havas is one of the most acquisitive group in the industry, between 5 and 10 acquisitions every year, constantly for the past 10 years. I would say that we have had different transformative acquisitions. A big one in Europe 8 years ago, it was the Full Six Group, Equino and Full Six. It was the independent leader in digital transformation. A big one on creativity a year ago. A company called Uncommon in the UK, the most creative European independent agency. Maybe another one in the consulting service in London, Gate One, which is expanding quite rapidly. And in India particularly, I mean, we have been very, very acquisitive. It has completely transformed the industry. Just to give you some numbers, 8 years ago, we were just 250 people in India for Havas globally.
Okay.
And today we are 2,500 people. So we multiplied our scale by 10 in less than 10 years. So, I mean, of course, this is the kind of growth we don't see in the rest of the world. We've acquired great companies such as Pivot Root, it's the independent digital company, Showbiz, the leader in producing events, a health agency called Sorrento, some great companies, and I'm forgetting a big company that we have acquired also in India, but we have Think Design, of course, in CX, that was the name I was looking for, one of the leader in the customer experience field. So those acquisitions, plus the growth, I mean the organic growth of India, has allowed us to reach a very decent scale today in this country.
You know, talking about acquisitions, there was this big talk about one of the strongest independent agencies in India getting acquired by Havas, Madison.
Yeah.
Is that on track? Is there something happening on that front?
Is
that the next big acquisition?
A lot of people have been asking me this question for the past 10 years. By the way, that's not the first time. So of course, I mean, we are looking at every possibility in every market, but as we are a listed company, we cannot comment on rumors.
Okay. And another thing is, you know, your global revenues touched an all-time high last year. I'd like to understand, is it largely because of acquisitions or was it organic growth for you?
It's a combination of both. We did like 7 or 8 acquisitions last year, plus growth. So it's a combination of both, and we anticipate this year as well to be a new all-time high in terms of both revenue and EBIT. So it's year after year we are breaking records, so I hope it will last in the coming decade until the 200 years anniversary of Havas.
Super. And IPG and Omnicom merger is being talked about across circles. Now, if that actually comes into play, how will that impact Havas? You know, it's going to create a giant at the end of the day.
Yeah, So today we are 6 groups in the advertising industry who operates at global scale. It's IPG Omnicom, Publicis, WPP, Dentsu, and us. So today we are the 6th largest group, so we will enter the top 5. So it's a good thing. No, I think it's a positive thing for the industry. It's good for them. They will find synergies, and I think it's opening up new opportunities as well for us. You know, our positioning at Havas is not to be the largest group in terms of scale, but is to be the best. And I believe when it comes to client servicing, it's better to be focused. And I think you have to be, at the same time, you have to be global. You have to operate at a global scale for global clients. But still, I think you have to remain, to keep this sense of being the same group, belonging to the same people, the same family as we describe ourselves at Havas. So I believe our scale is an advantage today. And tomorrow, with this future combination, it will be an even bigger advantage for Havas. So I think it's a positive.
So you would say size is a deterrent or an advantage for agility?
Scale is very important in every business. I mean, take any industry, any business in any industry, scale is really a question that every CEO, every board need to ask. Do you have the right scale? My belief is that you need to have a scale in advertising. Otherwise, you can be a boutique agency, but you cannot work on the global front. I believe it's good to be the challenger. I believe it's good not to be the number one. You know, to have this mindset of being the underdog. I'm not talking about being the outsider who has no chance. I mean, being the challenger. I think it's great. It's giving us an extra boost of energy. So I believe our scale today, 23,000 people, 2.8 billion euros revenue, $3 billion. I think it's an advantage. So I wouldn't change. Honestly, I mean, we could be slightly bigger because we will grow, but I think it's important to integrate well the agencies, because otherwise it's creating a lot of disruption.
You know, you're talking about agencies, you know, I just noticed that at Havas, you don't really acquire agencies which are in the same business. So you don't have multiple creative agencies, you don't have multiple media agencies, at least that's the case in India. Is that a strategy that is going to be long term? Because I have seen, I mean, we've all seen companies basically integrating everything into one agency. And now in India, there's an example of Dentsu, which integrated everything as creative media and you know, 3 different silos. And then now they've again started disintegrating, and they've started, you know, because I don't know if globally what is the situation, but how difficult is it to convince clients, competitive clients, to be working with the same agency group?
Yeah, I think it's important. I mean, we have in lots of countries, even in India, let's take media, we have Havas Media and we have Arena Media. I wouldn't say that they are competing within each other, but I think it's good to have 2 offerings. So for clients that are competing in the same space, we can create those Chinese walls, but at the end, all clients can benefit from the same kind of thought leaderships, media power, buying, things like that. So it's more, I would say, trying to build complementary offering than competitive offering. And I think when I listen to the statement of my competitors, is they are trying to go down that path, I mean, in that direction. So I think you have to find the right balance. It's never easy to find the right balance, but at the end, what I really want is that every people working at Havas, whether they are working at Think Design, Pivot Truths, MPG, I mean, we have lots of different names. I want them to feel that they work for the same group, and at the end of the day, we need to stick together as a team. I mean, whether it's in cricket or in football. Let's take football, because my football team just won the Champions League yesterday or 2 days ago. At the end, what matters is the team. It's not the individual, and that's what we are trying to build at Havas in the best interest of the clients. So clients come first, group comes second, and agency comes third, if you see what I mean.
So basically, there's scope for change in India, and a Madison can come on board.
No, I won't comment. I won't comment on anything. But India, of course, I mean, it's honestly, I'm super satisfied. You would have told me 8 years ago, because I did an interview 8 years ago with one of your colleagues, explaining that we had huge ambition. I think we say we wanted to multiply the scale by 5, and we multiplied it by 10. So honestly, I mean, that the best success.
You overachieved.
More than overachieved. I mean, I couldn't be happier. I'm clearly over the moon with the situation of Havas in India.
You know, there's also this effort that I have seen over the past couple of years since Rana has come on board to bring Havas Media on the same level as Havas Creative at the same level as Havas Media. Are you seeing that kind of change, and what is your advice to the leadership here?
It's a good question, and especially 2 weeks before Cannes, the Cannes Advertising Festival, Cannes Lions. So Havas Media today is one of the strongest players in the industry. It's almost 10% market share, which is very strong. Havas Creative, I mean, I don't want to jinx it or anything, but we have good material for Cannes that are coming from India. So I believe that we could have some good news, good awards to celebrate with our Indian agencies, creative agencies in Cannes in a couple of weeks.
Super. And another thing is, talking about agencies, what is that one expertise that you might want to gain in India, which will allow Havas to play maybe a larger role in the industry here?
Yeah, no, I think all the efforts we are putting towards data, digital, now AI are very important because, of course, talent remains paramount. But at the end, we need to make sure that we have the best tools, the best data assets, the best data access to the best data sources. So all the investments we have been making in customer experience with Think Design, in media, in digital media with Pivot Roots, everything is paying off today. So this is where we're going to focus, is to make sure that we build a future-proof, modern type of group of agencies.
Okay, and AI is a big conversation everywhere. How are you integrating AI in the operations across Havas? And if you really had to be ahead of the curve, what would be the next big disruptor in the industry after AI?
AI is a big one. AI is a big one. Honestly, at Havas, I mean, you mentioned the roots of Havas transforming itself during the past almost 200 years. Every time there is a shift in the industry, a revolution, something new, we embrace it. Before AI, it was a metaverse. We even purchased some land in the metaverse, so finally it hasn't been such that disruption.
It didn't really take off.
So when AI emerged at the end of 2022, we were the first to embrace AI. We were the first to embrace Midjourney and Adobe Firefly on the creative front. On the media front, everything is AI data-driven. All the media plans are data-driven. Digital now accounts for more than 50% of our media buying. Everything is done through AI with programmatic tools, algorithm, and everything. And so we implement AI everywhere in our tools, in our partnerships. We've signed tons of partnerships with companies. I would say that today, my vision is that AI should not be a division within Havas, like a silo. It should be everywhere. So we have trained our 20,000 plus people around the world about the basics of AI. And I want everyone at Havas to be able to use AI. Because at the end, the idea is not to be better than AI. The idea is to be better with AI.
Right.
And people using AI will be better than people not using AI. Whatever you do, you can be the smartest girl or smartest guy in the industry. If you're not using AI, and you're competing with someone using AI,
you suffer.
You will suffer. So that's why we are giving access to AI tools to everyone, and we are creating this culture of AI first everywhere.
And you spoke about how European markets are obviously, plateaued sort of. Most holding companies are looking at India as that, silver lining. What is the Indian market looking like for you, for Havas? And what is the kind of growth you are hoping, targeting for the Indian market here?
I mean, the Indian market is growing roughly 10% a year. And I told Rana and the team we need to grow at least 10% a year, and trying to do a bit more. If we can do a bit more, would be better. But for a group like Havas to grow 10% in a region or double-digit growth, I mean, it's already amazing.
And just one last question. We've seen record growth. I think your growth percentage-wise, it was higher than WPP or an IP or an Omnicom, if I remember correctly. But with regard to the revenue, the actual numbers, we still see Havas as one of the lowest in the hierarchy. When do you hope to change that? When are you getting into the top 3?
No, I don't want to go in the top 3.
Okay.
I think to be top 5. After the merger, we'll move from 6 to 5. I think to be top 5 is good. I believe clients needs to have opportunities to look at different type of holding companies. Havas is quite well differentiated from its peers. First, it's the only holding company which is family owned, with the largest shareholder, which is a family. So it gives us the opportunity to develop a long-term strategy. I mean, our clients, they know they can call me anytime, and they know I will still be around in 10 years, 20 years, maybe 30 years. I'm still quite young, middle-aged now, less young than before. We are digital first. I mean, at the core, we have a strong push on creativity, on differentiated assets. So I believe that Havas has a very strong position in the market, and as long as we will overperform the industry in terms of growth, it means that Havas strategy is paying off.
So you're not in the ranking game, you just want to do a good job wherever you are.
You know, when we are already very big. I mean, being top 5 in any industry in the world, not in a country, in the world.
It's a big deal,
and there are many countries where we are the market leader. I mean, it's already, honestly, it's already quite an achievement.
Super. We can't wait to see what next you do with Havas.
Me too.
Thank you so much for
Thank you
speaking
very
to
much.
us. Pleasure.
Pleasure. Thank you very much.